I'm Isla. Have you ever noticed one of those weird piercings that kind of dangles out of someone's nose like a booger? Or maybe you've scrolled down TikTok and seen all the baddies that have this piercing. Yes, I'm talking about the septum piercing. I decided to get one impulsively, and I'm going to tell you all about it. Find out what the most annoying part of the healing process is, if it hurt, and everything else. Stay tuned. Hi, my little doves. My name is Isla. In case you're familiar with who I am, I'm an adult model and podcaster. My YouTube channel focuses on beauty and everything else under the sun. You can find relationship advice, piercing topics, and anything else. I would classify it as a lifestyle channel. So if you want to see more, make sure you go to my page and subscribe. So, what exactly is the septum piercing? Well, it's one of those piercings that people refer to as the bull ring. I remember when I first saw septum piercings. I was in college and I was looking around and I saw all these super cute girls with this piercing in their nose. I was like, what is that? So I sat down and I talked to them about it. They told me all about the piercing process and everything in between, and honestly, it terrified me. It scared me and I did not want to do it. I really, really wanted this piercing, but they said it hurt and that their piercer didn't pierce it properly the first time. So I was not ready to get this piercing. I delayed it by 5 years. And one day I decided that I did not care anymore. I woke up and I knew exactly what I was going to be doing that day. Getting a septum piercing. So how exactly did the piercing process go? Well, I'll tell you more. When I first arrived at the piercing shop, I looked at all the beautiful jewelry. After I picked it out, they took it back and sterilized it, which is always a great sign in a piercing shop. It shows that they're following the exact protocol and everything else that they need to. While I waited for my piercing to be sterilized, I saw that they also wiped on the chair and the rooms that I was going to be getting pierced in, which made me feel a lot better. I also browsed the rest of the beautiful jewelry and see if there's anything else that I wanted to add to any of my other piercings. Once the jewelry was finally finished, she brought me back into the room and I sat down in a smooth black chair. She pulled out all brand new tools, unwrapped them from the packaging, and laid them out on a display on her table. After washing her hands and getting gloved up, she got ready. I'm used to piercings where you can see it happening first. You know, normally they'll take a black pen and they'll mark it on your nose or anywhere else that you're getting a piercing. And you can double check and make sure that it looks how you want. That's not how things are at the septum piercing. She told me this right away. I was completely thrown off. She told me to scoot towards her, so I did. And I sat down at the edge of the table and she stuck her fingers in my nose. She took one needle and what kind of looked like a tube, and she stuck them together into my septum. At that point, she told me to take a big, deep breath in. So I did. And she pierced my septum. So how was the pain? Honestly, the pain for this piercing was really high. And that's coming from someone with a high pain tolerance. I don't know what happened or why I experienced it as more painful than everyone else, but it was a 10 out of 10. My eyes started pouring water. I felt like crying. It was super painful, but I love it. She told me that I did a good job and then showed me my piercing in the mirror. Through teary eyes, I saw and I fell in love. In fact, it was so painful that I started to think maybe she pierced it in the wrong spot and pierced me through my cartilage. I checked and I also went to another piercer and they confirmed that it was pierced in the right spot. Thankfully. How's the healing process? The healing process has a couple of different stages. The first stage that I called the runny nose stage. This is when your body's getting used to a new piercing being in your nose. It's kind of in an odd spot and it takes up a lot of room in there. So your body's trying to flush it out. My nose was constantly running for 2 to 3 weeks. Every single day. Constant sniffles and tissues. And no, I actually was not sick. I made sure that I made sure that I was healthy because I want for my immune system to be strong when I get a piercing. But it seems like my body had a different idea of how to handle this piercing. The second phase that I like to call the crusty phase. Now this phase is honestly kind of disgusting and I really don't even want to talk about it. But the piercer warned me about it. She said that the septum piercing is known for being crusty, and she was correct. When I clean my piercing out with my piercing solution and I stick it in my nose and spray, I notice that there's crusties on the inside of my piercing. If there's anything that's too stubborn, I'll take a Q-tip and I'll wipe it off, but typically there's nothing extra that you really have to do. Just kind of gross. So what's my advice for getting a septum piercing? 1, research your piercing before you get it. I honestly would discourage people from getting impulsive piercings because I hadn't researched enough into the healing process to know what I was expecting. I woke up and I was like, okay, I'm going for it. I'm getting my septum piercing. And I did, but the healing process caught me a little off guard. If you like this video and you want to see more about me and my life, or even some of my piercings, because I have over 13, be sure to like, subscribe, and check out my channel. Of course, make sure that you follow me on the links below on my TikTok, Instagram, and Facebook. And as always, remember, my sugar and spice are on my spicy sides. Bye!